Disguised CEO sees black maid with a broken arm at his dealership. What happens shocks everyone. Gray morning in Chicago, 2024. Tall glass windows reflect the heavy sky. The dealership smells of new leather, expensive coffee, and car wax. On the floor, melted snow tracks brought in by customers' boots. Imported cars under cool lighting. Low ambient music. Digital posters flash monthly rates and bonuses. Camille walks in slowly, her right arm in a cast and supported by a black sling. Long, flawless braids tied behind her back. Simple, clean uniform, disposable gloves. She holds back the pain in her jaw, breathes, hooks the bucket onto the side of the cleaning cart, heads toward a shiny black SUV with a sold tag. You can't touch that car with that cast. The voice cuts through the air. Trent Lawson, sales manager, navy blue suit, tight smile. The entire showroom hears it. Two customers turn their heads. A salesman smirks in the corner of his mouth. Camille swallows hard. I'm just cleaning the floor around it, sir. Then clean without splashing, please. That's a $120,000 car. He looks at the cast. And don't scratch it. It's your responsibility. Pause. The comment hangs heavy. She nods with dignity. Starts again. Short, precise movements. Throbbing pain. She keeps her back straight. On the other side, a new employee watches in silence. Plain cap, gray jumpsuit. Makeshift name badge with Adrian covered by tape, handwritten Drew. It's him, Adrian Walker, disguised amid the noise of compressors. Grayish blue eyes analyzing everything. He holds a toolbox just to look busy. His stomach tightens when he sees the cast. Something makes him take 2 steps forward. Camille pushes the mop. The bucket sways. A customer in leather boots steps on the wet cloth, slips slightly, lets out a and pulls her purse away like something dirty might touch her. Trent throws his hands up, theatrical. This is what I'm talking about. Safety, people, he points. Camille, just do the basics. The basics. Shock, stares. Red rises to her face. The humiliation came early, without warning. Adrian clenches his jaw, says nothing. Observes, learns. Camille calmly picks up the germ. Cloth. Sorry, ma'am, I'll dry it now. The customer turns her face, typing on her phone. Just don't ruin my morning. Camille breathes, continues, wipes every drop. The ceiling light reflects on her, dark brown, radiant skin. A kiss of glow on a tired face. Beauty the city pretends not to see. A saleswoman, Maya, approaches with a soft whisper. Need help? I got it, thanks. Camille offers a brief smile, controls the pain in her wrist. Adrian sets the box down and approaches carefully. I can move the bucket for you. Camille hesitates. Thank you. He drags the bucket without touching her. Respect. Short silence. The sound of the air conditioning fills the space. Trent reappears with a microfiber cloth. Makes a show of polishing the SUV mirror in front of everyone. Learn from me, okay? Wipes it twice, smiles at the customers. That's how we keep standards. Camille keeps her chin up. The floor is dry, sir. Excellent. Then you can take care of the east showroom. The glass panels are stained. He points at the floor-to-ceiling glass walls. And no excuses about the cast. You can clear. The mop slips off the cart, hits the glass, makes a loud clack. The showroom falls silent. A customer looks like it was an alarm. Trent rolls his eyes. Is that coming out of your paycheck? A salesman mocks. That's enough. Adrian's voice is low, firm. I'll take the glass. Trent stares at him. What are you? Maintenance? Then do maintenance? Let her learn. Camille holds her breath. I'll do it, sir, and goes. Measured steps, mask of dignity. Adrian follows a few feet behind, as if measuring the water trail at the baseboard. Watches her left hand tremble while the right rests in the sling. He notices something. The spray bottle on the cart has a loose nozzle, leaking. Small drops shining on the polished floor. Dangerous. An accident waiting to happen. Camille. He speaks low, close enough to be heard, far enough not to intrude. I can fix that nozzle. It's leaking. She looks. Thank you. I hadn't noticed. Adrian twists the cap, tightens it, wipes the excess with a cloth from his pocket. Better. You're new, right? She tries a smile. I'm Camille. Drew. He points at the taped badge. Nice to meet you. Keeps his curiosity in check, holds back the questions. Why is she working with a broken arm? Who? Approved this? From the hallway, Trent's voice echoes, Camille, come here now. She walks to the glass counter. Trent puts a yellow form in front of her. Incident report. You almost made the customer fall. Sign it. Camille reads. Breathes slowly. That wasn't an incident. The cloth was marking the area. Sign. It. He pushes the pen. Company policy. Can I note that the bottle was defective? She asks, firmly. No, you were distracted. Trent tilts his head, cold smile. Sign and move on. We don't have time. Adrian, a few steps away, watches the pen trembling in her fingers. The ring light on the counter casts a halo in Camille's eyes. Beautiful, tired, resilient. Distracted isn't true, she says, controlled. I'd rather explain exactly what happened. Trent grows impatient. You want to keep the job or debate semantics, sign it. Silence. Maya watches from a distance, uneasy. A security guy steps closer out of instinct. She doesn't have. To sign something inaccurate, Adrian says, carefully. The tension shifts temperature. The nozzle was broken. I saw it. Trent half smiles. Oh, now the rookie's a lawyer? This isn't a union, champ. Camille raises her face. I'll sign if I can write my version. She grabs the pen with her left hand, her handwriting steady despite the pain. Trent pulls the paper before she finishes. No, too much time. I'll submit it as is. She stares at him, hurt and proud. That's unfair. That's procedure. Long pause. The distant sound of an engine starting in the shop. A door alarm. Life going on as if nothing. Camille. Returns the pen. Then document that I refuse to sign something incomplete. Trent narrows his eyes. Final warning. Adrian steps forward. She has a right. Right? Trent cuts in. You've been here 2 days, barely know. Where the keys are. Stay out of it. Camille steps back slightly but doesn't drop her gaze. The pain throbs in her arm. Dignity intact. She turns to the cart. Needs to finish the shift. Late paycheck. Sister waiting at home. Rent that shows no mercy. Adrian watches. Every inch of the path she retraces. He sees a customer step on the warning cloth and kick it aside, annoyed. He sees the drop of cleaner she can't reach because of the height of the glass. He sees her beauty shining despite the cold lights. Then he decides he won't just stand by. Camille, he calls, softly. Can I? A loud snap cuts. Through the showroom. Everyone turns. The manager's office door opens. 2 people walk out. A woman from HR with a red folder and a security guard. Trent's look summons them. The folder carries a new form, a stamp on the cover, final warning. The HR woman clears her throat. Camille Johnson, we need to talk, now. The ceiling camera rotates, clicking, as if the whole city is watching. Camille swallows the pain. Eyes meet. Maya starts to move but stops. Adrian grips the cloth, a decision exploding in his chest. Step in and expose himself, or stay silent and betray her. Please come with us, says the guard, already making a path. Camille takes a step and her sling gives. The cast shifts. Slightly. A trapped groan. The entire showroom holds its breath. Adrian is about to speak. The system's voice echoes through the store, metallic, unexpected, attention, surprise corporate inspection in 15 minutes. Trent's eyes go wide. The HR woman adjusts the folder. The guard quickens his pace. Camille looks at Adrian. He stares at the clock. If he speaks now, his cover could be blown. If he stays silent, she could lose everything. Before the story continues, I want to take a moment to talk to you watching. Tell me in the comments, where are you following this story from? I love knowing how far these stories travel. And if you're passionate about love stories full of emotion, resilience, and plot twists, make sure to subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss a single chapter and you'll be helping this project grow more and more. Camille looks at Adrian. He stares at the clock. If he speaks now, his cover could be blown. If he stays silent, she could lose everything. The same tension crosses the glass of the meeting room upstairs, where Trent orders everyone inside quickly. The smell of stale coffee and toner fills the air. Fingerprints smudge the glass table. In the corner, a box of stale donuts. Posters on the wall. Safety first, EEO, harassment policies. The gray city of Chicago shows through the window like a frosted mirror. Camille enters with her sling adjusted. She sits at the end of the table, discreet, her casted arm supported. Adrian, still Drew, stands in the back, leaning against the wall, toolbox on the floor. The air conditioning blows too cold for the winter outside. Trent claps his hands. Quickly, people. Corporate inspection in minutes. Image is everything. He picks up a carbon fiber piece from the box beside him, a side mirror cover with a crack shaped like lightning. And this is how we're not prepared. Heavy silence. He lifts the piece like evidence in court. This costs $1,800. It was dropped this morning in the East showroom. His eyes land on Camille, by someone who should know the basics. Her breath catches. I didn't touch that part. That part. Trent places the mirror cover on the table slowly, dramatizing. Camille, you almost made a customer slip earlier. Now a broken part. What do I do with this? I was cleaning the floor. I didn't touch any parts box. She looks around, searching for eyes that see her. If I could write my version. Version? Trent lets out a short, forced laugh. My version is damage. Maya speaks up timidly. That part was already in the showroom before she got there. I saw the box open at 7:40. Are you sure, Maya? Trent narrows his eyes. Because the report I have says 8:10, the time Camille was already here. Adrian straightens. The detail hits like a siren. On the bubble wrap, there's a receiving sticker. He discreetly leans in and reads from where he is. Trained to read numbers for years. Received 7:42 a.m. The truth is stuck to the item. Camille speaks calmly, firmly. I clocked in at 8:02. I can prove it. Trent gestures impatiently. Time. Doesn't matter when the part is broken. The brand doesn't tolerate carelessness. Check the cameras, Adrian says in a neutral tone, aiming at the sticker. East stockroom's covered, isn't it? Trent barely turns. Coincidence or not, that camera is under maintenance. He points to the HR woman's folder, and the responsibility falls on whoever was in the area. The HR woman clears her throat without looking at Camille. We need to close a report before the inspection. Then I'll repeat, Trent says, placing the cracked mirror cover in front of Camille like an accusing mirror. Apologize. To the team, sign the warning, and we move forward. Transparency, everyone. Camille keeps her chin up. Her arm hurts. I'm not apologizing for something I didn't do. Trent gives a tight, patronizing smile, like teaching a child. People, take note. This is how a standard breaks down. He turns to the group. When someone doesn't understand the impact of a mistake, everyone pays. Quick training. Maya, grab the microfiber cloth. Camille, show how to clean a panel. Without scratching it, let's turn this into a lesson. Maya hesitates. Trent, this isn't. Now, Camille stands. Her braids slide down her back. She holds the microfiber with her left hand, the right protected in the sling. Her heartbeat pounds in her ears. I didn't scratch anything, but I can clean. Trent brings the cracked cover closer. The reflection shows her face, beautiful and tired. Look closely, Camille. This is what standard means, and standard is expensive. Adrian takes a step forward. The sticker shines again. 7:42 a.m. He memorizes the numbers like a promise. Who signed for the delivery? The question comes out smooth, technical. Trent doesn't like it. You're asking a lot of questions, rookie. Just trying to understand the process, Adrian replies evenly. If the item arrived before her shift, I already said time is irrelevant. Trent raises his voice, theatrical. What matters is attitude. Camille takes a deep breath. My attitude is doing my job right and respecting myself. The air turns heavy. A salesman in the back adjusts his collar, uncomfortable. The HR woman flips through the folder, unable to meet anyone's eyes. Adrian touches the edge of his coverall pocket, calculating. If he says more, he steps out of his role as maintenance. If he stays quiet, the injustice becomes permanent. He glances back at the part and notices another detail. An old micro scratch, dust already settled inside the crack. That didn't break. Today, is that crack recent? He asks casually, like he's commenting on the weather. Trent exhales through his nose. Yes, and enough with the debate. He slides the warning notice across the table toward Camille. Sign it. Camille takes the pen in her left hand. Pause. I'll write that I disagree. She presses the tip down, her handwriting steady. I refuse to take responsibility for damage I did not cause. I request camera review and delivery log verification. Trent snatches the paper away before she finishes. Like slicing through the air. Enough. 1 day suspension, no pay. If you keep pushing, we'll talk termination. This isn't fair, Maya blurts out. This is procedure. Trent repeats, eyeing the door, anxious about the time. The door opens without a knock. The corporate inspection team walks in 3 people with clipboards and tablets, coats, still damp from snow. Leading them is a middle-aged woman with perfect posture and a silver badge. Read. Corporate audit. The air shifts. She scans the room in 2 seconds. X-ray gaze. Notices the cracked part on the table. Notices the cast on Camille's arm. Notices the handwritten name tag that says Drew. Good morning, Reed says briskly. We're starting with parts control. Who's responsible for receiving an inventory? Trent forces a smile. I superv. Reed picks up the mirror cover, flips it over, reads the sticker. Received at 7:42. Her eyes narrow. Who signed for this? No one answers. Adrian feels the blow of fate. If Reed recognizes him, the cover's blown. The HR woman points hesitant to the spreadsheet. Reed continues, unfazed. And why is a part marked with a technical recall tag on display in the showroom damaged? Heads turn. Trent turns pale. Maya covers her mouth. Camille's eyes go wide. Recall? Reed places the part back down. The silence weighs like lead. If we confirm this is under recall, it breaches protocol, insurance, and audit policy. Someone will answer for this today. She lifts her gaze and finally looks at Adrian, her stare lingering a second too long on the handwritten badge. And you, maintenance, why are you in a management meeting? Adrian feels the floor vibrate under his feet. 1 second too long and everything could collapse. The hallway light flickers. Reed's tablet beeps. She receives a file via email. Subject: East Stockroom Camera, 7:30 to 8 o'clock. Trent stiffens. Camille clenches her fingers in the sling, holding pain and hope in the same hand. The video begins to load on Reed's screen, frame by frame, and the frozen image shows a figure hunched over the box at 7:46. Who is it? The video freezes on the figure handling the box. The room holds its breath. Reed pauses the image just before. The face appears. The tension is so dense it feels like it cuts the air. Trent clears his throat, trying to regain control. We can resolve this internally. But Reed's silence is heavier than any accusation. Camille lowers her eyes, her heart pounding. Adrian knows. Speak too much and his identity is exposed. Stay silent and injustice wins. Later, at the end of the shift, the mood in the showroom is still heavy. The sound of automatic doors opening and closing echoes. Customers come and go, unaware of the silent storm hovering over the staff. Camille pushes the cleaning cart with effort. The bucket full of dirty water feels heavier than it should. Her casted arm throbs. She breathes deeply, but her body betrays the exhaustion. That's when Adrian appears beside her, still disguised. As Drew, without drawing attention, he grabs the bucket handle and lifts it like it's nothing. Camille's eyes widen in surprise. You don't have to. That's my job. He lowers his voice, discreet. Who said I can't share the weight? She watches him, skeptical. There's something different in the way he speaks, in the care with which he holds the bucket, as if a simple gesture meant more than it looked. No one here does that for me. Why would you? Adrian gives half a smile, staying in character. Maybe because I see you're already carrying too much on your own. Camille grips the cleaning cloth tighter, her eyes watering for a second, but she masks it quickly. People here only notice when I mess up, never when I try. I noticed, he replies, simply, sincerely. His blue eyes meet hers, unhurried, without judgment. Camille feels something strange, a calm she doesn't usually find inside that hostile dealership. In the back hallway, where the smell of grease and old coffee mixes, Adrian picks up the trash bag she was about to carry. Camille steps forward to stop him, but he's already thrown it over his shoulder with ease. Don't worry, I won't let them say I abandoned my duties. I'm just helping. She exhales, still torn between gratitude and suspicion. You're different. But around here, any kindness looks suspicious. Adrian looks at her for a moment, realizing how much life has already hurt her. Then let them be suspicious. Sometimes, kindness is the quietest form of resistance. Camille feels her chest tighten, as if his words created space for something she didn't want to admit, hope. But before she can respond, the sound of footsteps echoes down the hallway. Trent appears, his face tense, his eyes suspicious. He watches the two from a distance, narrowing his gaze like he sees some invisible threat. Camille notices, her body chills. She pulls away a bit, returning to the cart like nothing happened. Thanks. But you'd better not get too involved. Around here, people who help end up paying the price. Adrian holds her gaze for a second, longer before looking away. He already knows that with every gesture, he's getting closer to a dangerous line. Trent watches the scene from behind the glass office door. He holds his phone in hand, secretly recording. His eyes gleam with malice. A slow smile creeps across his face. If that's how she wants to play, let's see how much she can take. Trent keeps watching from a distance, recording with his phone, the cold smile stuck on his face. But Camille doesn't notice. Her shift is over, and she walks toward the back parking lot, where the fluorescent lights flicker and the Chicago wind cuts through the cracks in the metal door. The echo of her footsteps reveals the loneliness of the space. Adrian appears just behind her, still carrying the toolbox, but his expression has changed, a mix of concern and persistence. "Camille," he calls, voice low so he doesn't startle. Her dot she turns, her face lit only by the yellow light of the street lamp outside. Her braids sway over her shoulder, the cast weighs on her arm. "You should go. You've already done more than you should." Adrian takes a deep breath, hesitates, but doesn't back down. "What really happened to your arm? It doesn't seem like just a regular accident." Camille closes her eyes for a moment, like the question opens an old wound. She leans her back against the cold concrete wall. "Nobody here wants to know about that. To them, I'm just the janitor with a broken arm. Nothing more. I want to know," he insists, voice steady. "Tell me." Silence lasts a few seconds. She breathes deeply, her eyes glistening with held-back tears. "It happened on the bus. I take the same one every day, line 64, always. Packed. That morning, the driver lost control. The brakes failed. The bus flew down the avenue, crashing into cars until it finally slammed into a pole. I was thrown into the metal bar." Adrian holds his breath, the weight of the scene hitting his chest. Camille continues, voice trembling. "I found out later it wasn't an accident. The transit company knew the brakes were bad. They cut maintenance costs. Like lives are just numbers on spreadsheets." She shows her casted arm. "I reported it. I called the hotline. I went to City Hall. I wrote reports. No one replied. Want to know why? Because when I saw my name on the paperwork, I realized for them I was just a janitor complaining. Invisible." The word echoes through the hallway, invisible. Adrian slowly clenches his fists, trying to contain his fury. The blood pulses hard in the vein at his temple. He tries to mask his tone but can't hide the indignation. And how many people were on that bus? "Over 20, she says, voice heavy. "Some were hurt worse than I was, but no one made the news. There were no reporters waiting, no cameras. Just silence. Just cold reports." Adrian steps forward, breathing hard. "That's not just unfair, Camille. It's a crime. They're buying everyone's silence." She looks up at him, confused by the intensity in his eyes. "And what can I do? I don't have a lawyer. I don't have money. I don't have anyone to listen." Adrian hesitates. His disguise demands silence, but his heart demands to scream. He lowers his voice, almost speaking to himself. "They're going to have to listen." Camille tightens the sling, feeling the memory throbbing in her arm. "Promise me one thing, Drew. Don't tell anyone here. If they find out I reported it, they'll use it against me. They've done it before." He nods slowly, but his eyes can't hide the storm building inside him. In that moment, Adrian makes a silent decision. He won't let this injustice be buried. Before Camille can even breathe with relief, the sound of a metal door slams open. Trent appears, pretending he just came to close up the lot. His phone is in his pocket, but the screen's glow gives him away he just recorded something. He looks at the two of them, a sarcastic smile on his face. "Working overtime, Camille? Or is this bonding time with the new guy?" Camille freezes, heart pounding. Adrian senses danger closing in. He knows, if Trent discovers the truth, Camille won't be the only one to pay the price. Trent steps inside, his shadow stretching under the fluorescent light. "You know, I've got a special talent for sensing when someone's hiding something. And you two ... look like you've got a lot to hide." Trent stays planted at the door, his eyes full of implications. Camille feels the chill run up her spine but doesn't reply. Adrian stays firm, still in character, but he knows that smug smile hides something much darker. The next morning, the showroom feels different. It's not just the polished cars reflecting the bright lights, it's the stares from coworkers. Whispers echo in the hallways, muffled laughter cuts through the silence. Camille enters with her cleaning cart, her braids tied up, her head held high. But she quickly senses something has changed. There she is, the newbie's favorite. A salesman mutters, not caring if she hears. He even carries her bucket. Ever seen that before? Another one says, adjusting his tie. A receptionist chuckles under her breath. They say they stay late together. Probably why she hasn't been fired yet. The words slice through the air like invisible blades. Camille grips the cart handle, her arm throbbing under the cast. But the worst pain comes from the cruel judgment. Maya, the only friendly voice, tries to defend her. You guys don't know anything. He's just helping because he's got a heart. But a salesman snaps back, sarcastic. Heart? In a place like this, nobody does anything for free. It's interest, sweetie, and she knows how to play. Camille pretends not to hear. She moves toward the glass panels, cleaning each inch with precision. But behind her, the laughter continues. The reflection in the glass shows twisted mouths. Dripping sarcasm. Adrian watches from a distance, pretending to organize tools. His blood boils, but he knows he can't reveal himself yet. He slowly approaches, grabs the water bucket without a word. Camille turns her head, tense. You shouldn't be doing this, she whispers, without looking at him. Every time you help me, they make up more stories. Stories don't change the truth, he replies, firm but quiet. And the truth is you don't deserve to carry all of this alone. She sighs, trying to hold back tears. They always paint me as something I'm not. If I'm not invisible, I'm manipulative. I'm never just, Adrian looks at her, his voice full of sincerity. Then let them talk. What matters is who you really are. And that, Camille, I see better than they ever will. For a moment, the silence between them is louder than all the gossip. She feels the weight lift slightly, but not completely. As she walks away, she notices Trent watching from his office, eyes cold and calculating. He gives the smallest smile and quickly types something on his phone. Minutes later, Camille receives an anonymous message on her phone. Want to keep your job? Watch who you get involved with. The phone vibrates in her hand. Her heart races. She looks around, trying to spot who could have sent it. Adrian notices the panic in her eyes, but before he can ask, Trent steps out of the office and announces loudly, "End of day meeting, mandatory for everyone." Camille feels the weight of the hidden threat in that announcement. She knows something bigger is being set in motion. In the reflection of the glass panel, Camille sees Trent whispering to two salesmen, laughing quietly. His phone flashes with another sent message. This time, it's going to someone outside. The dealership. Most of the dealership lights were already off when Camille finished cleaning the last hallway. The silence was so thick you could hear only the distant echo of footsteps in the service bay. The air smelled of grease mixed with the soft scent of freshly applied wax. She was putting the cloth away when she felt a stare. Turning around, she found Adrian leaning against the stockroom doorframe, his shadow stretched by the glow of fluorescent lights. "You're still here?" she asked, surprised. He gave a sideways smile. "I could ask you the same, but I think I already know the answer." Camille sighed, exhausted. "If I don't finish, someone's going to use it against me tomorrow. The rumors are bad enough." Adrian walked closer. Slowly, he picked up a heavy bucket and set it in the corner effortlessly. It shouldn't be like this. No one should carry this much alone. She watched him in silence, intrigued by this man who seemed to see beyond her job title. "You're strange, Drew. Different from the others. Around here, kindness feels Like a trap. What if it's not a trap? He looked at her, serious. What if it's just the truth? Her eyes welled up, but she looked away. I can't let myself believe that. I've believed in people too many times, and I always ended up on the floor. Adrian lowered his voice, filled with tenderness. Maybe you've just believed in the wrong people. For a few seconds, the world seemed to stop. The noise of the city didn't reach the walls. Her heart beat so loudly it filled the space. Camille took a deep breath. You don't understand. I can't afford to dream. I have to survive. Adrian stepped closer, just one step away. The tension was thick, but there was no rush. He didn't touch her, just let the sincerity in his gray-blue eyes speak for him. Then let me carry a little of it, just for today. Just here, in this forgotten stockroom. She felt the words, like an invisible embrace. For the first time in a long while, she didn't feel invisible. Why are you doing this for me? Adrian took a deep breath, like the answer came from somewhere buried long ago. Because it's been a long time since I remembered what it feels like to care. Camille had no words. The silence between them wasn't empty. It was full of something new. A fragile thread beginning to form dangerous and inevitable. Before she could say anything, the sound of a door slamming echoed through the showroom. Rushed footsteps came down the hallway. Both of them instinctively stepped back. Adrian moved away, picking up the toolbox. Camille adjusted her cleaning cart. Voices came from the other side. I'm sure I saw a light in here. Think she hides? Out after hours? One of the salesmen whispered, chuckling. Another replied, maybe she's getting some extra help. Camille closed her eyes, her chest tightening. Adrian clenched his fists. He knew the barely blossoming connection between them was already at risk of being crushed by the dealership's sharp tongues. The door swung open, and Trent's shadow invaded the storage room. He looked from one to the other, his lips curling, into a poisonous smile. Interesting, very interesting. Trent's shadow still lingered in the storage room when he walked out grinning, satisfied with what he'd seen. By the next morning, tension filled the air. A loud announcement echoed through the hallways. Emergency meeting. Everyone to the conference room immediately. Camille adjusted her uniform, her casted arm held by the sling. Her heart pounded. The gossip had already been suffocating. But now there was something darker in the air. Adrian, still dressed as Drew, walked beside her in silence, hiding the storm growing inside him. The conference room was packed. Tall windows reflected the snow falling outside. Trent stood at the head of the room, his hands on the table like a judge about to deliver a verdict. HR was present, notepads in hand. Maya, anxious, looked at Camille with compassion. Trent raised his voice theatrically. Everyone, we're here because of another serious misconduct violation. We have evidence that employee Camille Johnson engaged in an inappropriate relationship with another employee, affecting the workplace environment and damaging the dealership's image. A murmur spread through the room. Camille felt her face burn, like the floor had disappeared beneath her. That's a lie, she said firmly, though her voice trembled. Trent opened a folder and held up a phone. Visual proof, recordings. He didn't play anything yet, just let the suspense feed the room. It's unacceptable. Camille swallowed hard. I've never disrespected this place. What you're doing is a trap. Trent slammed his hand on the table. Camille, you don't understand. You've crossed the line. The decision is made. You're fired, effective immediately. The word hit like a punch. Maya gasped. This can't be. Adrian clenched his fists, breathing deeply. He knew this was the moment to stop everything. But revealing himself meant risking everything. Trent leaned forward, pleased. Security, escort her out. That's when Adrian stood up. Silence fell over the room. He set the toolbox down on the table, slowly, like laying down a hidden truth. His eyes burned toward Trent. She's not going anywhere. Everyone turned. His tone wasn't that of a submissive employee anymore, it carried authority. Camille looked at him, confused, her heart racing. Trent laughed mockingly. "And who are you to decide? Some maintenance rookie? Stay in your place." Adrian pulled the makeshift badge from his pocket, wrinkled from tape. He tossed it onto the table. Then he straightened up. The disguise fell away. The ordinary man became an executive. "My name is Adrian Walker. I'm the CEO of this dealership chain." The shock was instant. Murmurs turned into gasps. Eyes widened. Jaws dropped. Maya covered her mouth. HR nearly dropped a pen. But Camille didn't feel relief, she felt her heart sink. Her eyes welled not from joy, but from betrayal. The whole time? She could barely speak. "You went undercover just to watch me suffer? You played with my life?" Adrian took a step toward her, his voice full of emotion. "No, Camille, I never played. I had to see the truth with my own eyes, and I saw you. I saw your courage, your dignity, how this place treats you like you're invisible." But she stepped back, her eyes wounded. "And what does that change? You knew who I was. I never knew who you were. That's not justice, it's cruelty." The entire room watched in silence, her words cutting deeper than any accusation. Adrian tried to move closer, but she turned away, holding back a tear. Trent, sensing an opportunity, smirked victoriously. "There it is. The employee feels used. Nothing more needs to be said." Camille looked at Adrian one last time, her voice breaking. "You had a choice. And you chose to deceive me." She walked out under the weight of the room's stairs, leaving behind a dead silence. Adrian remained standing, feeling every word like a weight on his chest. He had revealed his identity to protect her, but in doing so, he had just lost the trust of the one person who mattered. Outside, Camille walked down the hallway with firm steps, but pain tore at her from within. Meanwhile, Trent sent a quick message on his phone. Plan B in motion. She'd destroy herself. Camille moved through the corridor as if each step was a blow to her own heart, her eyes brimming, but her chin high. She wouldn't let anyone see her break. Behind her, Adrian exited the conference room onto the tense stares of employees. He caught up with her at the side exit, where the cold Chicago wind slipped through the gaps in the metal door. "Camille, wait!" His voice echoed, urgent and loud. She only stopped long enough to face him, her eyes full of restraining tears. "You lied to me from day one. Pretended you were like me. But you don't know what it's like to have to prove your worth every single day. You never have." Adrian stepped forward, breathing heavy. "I didn't want to deceive you. I needed to see for myself how people here were being treated, and you showed me the truth. It wasn't a game." Camille let out a bitter laugh, gripping her sling. "You think that changes anything? In the end, you always had a choice. I never did. While you were pretending to be a regular worker, I was living my reality. The difference is, you can go back to being CEO anytime. I'm still the invisible janitor." The wind blew hard, tossing her braids. Adrian tried to get closer, but she stepped back. "Please, don't follow me. I don't want your help. I don't want your pity." "It's not pity, Camille," he insisted, his voice breaking with emotion. It's you. You made me see what I couldn't anymore. I can't just let you go." Her eyes shimmered with tears, but her tone stayed firm. "You can have everything, Adrian. Money, power, even the truth by your side. But you'll never understand what it's like to carry the pain of being treated like nothing. You don't know what it's like to be ignored when you need someone the most." He closed his eyes for a moment, feeling the truth slice through his chest like a blade. When he opened them, They were filled with tears. "Then teach me. Don't push me away." Camille shook her head, her heart torn between anger and hurt. "I'm not your mission or your chance to feel human again. I'm a woman trying to survive, and I can't trust you." Silence fell. Adrian reached out, almost touching her shoulder, but stopped mid-her, hesitating. Camille turned away and walked out of the building, the first flakes of snow beginning to fall over her braids. Adrian stood frozen in the doorway, the cold wind cutting his face, but colder still was the emptiness opening inside him. For the first time in years, the powerful man didn't know what to do. Trent watched from a distance, leaning against a red sports car in the parking lot. He smiled as he saw Camille walking away and Adrian standing still. On his phone, he was already typing a new message. "She's vulnerable. Time to use that against her." Trent typed, satisfied with the image of Camille disappearing into the snow alone. But what he didn't know was that that same night, her pain would turn into strength. Camille arrived home. A small apartment in Inglewood, peeling walls and a loud heater trying to fight the cold. Her younger sister, Layla, was at the table, studying with an old laptop. When she saw Camille come in, looking crushed, she ran to her. "They did something again?" Layla asked, eyes full of worry. Camille took a deep breath, trying to hide it. "Today was different. Today I realized that if I stay quiet, nothing will change. They think they can ignore my pain, silence me, but they can't." She sat in front of the laptop, opened an old email, the one she'd sent to City Hall many times without a reply. Then she took a deep breath, opened her phone's camera, and hit record. Her voice trembled at first, but then grew steady like steel. "My name is Camille Johnson. I'm a janitor at a luxury car dealership in Chicago. 3 months ago, I broke my arm in a bus crash. It wasn't an accident. It was negligence. The transit company knew the brakes were faulty but chose to cut costs. I reported it. I was ignored. Because to them, I'm just an invisible janitor. Today I decided I won't be invisible anymore." She posted the video on social media. Within hours, it went viral. Thousands of shares, trending hashtags. Local news stations began calling, asking for interviews. The next day, there were cameras at the dealership entrance. Reporters with microphones, angry citizens demanding answers. Camille walked into work under a flurry of flashes, her simple uniform now seen as a symbol of bravery. Trent nearly lost control. "Get that woman out of here. She's ruining our image." But before security could act, a voice echoed loud. Adrian appeared in the main hallway, no longer in disguise, dressed in a sharp dark suit. Everyone stopped. He walked to the entrance, stood beside Camille, and looked at the cameras. "My name is Adrian Walker, CEO of this dealership network," he declared. Shock replaced silence. "And I stand behind every word Camille said. What happened to her and so many others is a crime. I will not turn a blind eye. Even if it costs business relationships, I will join this fight and demand justice." The crowd erupted in applause. Camille stood frozen, unsure if she believed it. He looked at her sincerely. "You're not alone." Trent, furious, tried to step in. "Adrian, think of the board, the contracts. You're going to destroy millions." Adrian met his glare with strength. "I'd rather lose millions than lose my humanity." Camille's legs felt weak. For the first time, someone powerful was willing to burn for her. The entire world seemed to stop in that moment. But with hope came a new fear. The greater the truth's reach, the greater the danger for the one who carries it. As cameras continued. Broadcasting live, a black car pulled up across the street. Inside, 2 men in suits watched silently, taking notes. One of them muttered, "If this story keeps growing, we'll have to act." The black car drove off slowly, leaving only the shadow of a threat behind. Meanwhile, Camille's video and Adrian's unexpected support spread across national news. Headlines carried her image. Janitor exposes negligence, becomes symbol of courage. In the following days, Camille was invited to speak on talk shows. The streets that once ignored her now stopped to listen. Young people, working women, immigrants all saw in her a strength they'd never seen represented. Her arm, still in a cast, became living proof that her pain had turned into a banner. Adrian, on the other hand, faced consequences. The company board pushed him. $1 million contracts were at risk. Investors threatened to remove him. He heard words he never expected. "You destroyed our image by siding with her." And for the first time, he didn't respond with numbers or profits. He simply said, "If our image doesn't include dignity, then it's worth nothing." Despite everything, Camille still avoided him. The memory of the initial lie weighed too heavily. But on a cold night, coming back from the hospital where she was doing physical therapy, she found Adrian standing on the sidewalk in front of her simple building. He wasn't in a suit. No drivers around. Just a man, hands in his pockets, tired eyes. "Why are you here?" she asked, surprised and cautious. Adrian took a deep breath. "Because I had to lose almost everything to understand how blind I've been. I used to think wealth protected me, that power made me untouchable. But you showed me I knew nothing about strength." Camille crossed her arms, defensive. "Strength is getting up every day when the world keeps trying to erase you. It's showing up even when no one sees you." He nodded, eyes glistening. "And I learned that by watching you. Not as a CEO, not as a wealthy man, but as someone who finally found someone who made him feel human again." The silence that followed was heavy, but not cold. It was as if the wind was blowing away the lies of the past. Camille sighed, her eyes filling with held-back tears. "I don't know if I can trust you. But I know that when you spoke for me, you didn't speak as a boss. You spoke as a man." He took a step closer, without pressure. "I don't want to be your boss. I don't want to be your savior. I just want to stand beside you, that's all." Tears ran down her face, but there was a soft smile too. For the first time, they weren't CEO and janitor, but two people stripped of titles. United by pain and by hope. Camille stepped toward him, and Adrian held her gently, respecting the cast, respecting her dignity. The embrace wasn't about ownership, it was about connection. The next morning, the newspapers printed a new headline: "Woman who exposed negligent company inspires transportation reform in Illinois." Camille was no longer invisible. She was a name, a voice, a symbol. And Adrian silently knew that the greatest lesson of his life didn't come from business meetings, but from the courage of a woman who never stopped fighting. As they walked together down the cold street, a phone camera recorded them from a distance. The video went instantly to social media, and thousands of people commented, "This isn't a fairy tale. It's real life proving that dignity always wins." And that was our story. Now tell me, what did you think of this journey full of emotion, injustice, twists, and triumph? Leave your rating from 0 to 10 in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who will feel it too, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next chapters. Before you go, I've already picked another powerful story that'll touch your heart even deeper.